Guys, so I went to work on the marquis, right? And okay, I went to do the intake manifold gaskets and problem. So I was trying to repair the manifold. I had like a little crack, but I thought I could repair it, which involved me getting coolant in my pistons. So I ordered a new manifold, and the plugs are a little shot. Got new plugs coming in over, and then we got the manifold, and right here is where it cracked, and I thought I could put some seam sealer in there and make a wall with the new gaskets. Well, that didn't work, so I got a new intake manifold on the way, and plugs, gaskets, and then I'll get this back together. All right, guys, so my new intake manifold for the marquis came in, but the problem is it didn't come with new housing, so now I gotta take the old housing off the old manifold. So it wasn't coming off before, and oh, there we go. Cool beans. Look at that. I did throw this around, so I'm gonna have to clean this up. So guys, there's a new intake manifold, very nice. Came from Summit Racing. And then I got new spark plugs. So later I will put this on. So guys, I'm gonna take, well, anyone could, I don't know if it's really smart or not, but take some 1500 grit sandpaper, some carb cleaner. I'm gonna go over the surface area where the intake manifold goes, because I want a nice clean smooth surface, even though I took gasket scraper to it, cleaner and all that. I also cleaned out where the injectors, whatever, the piston cylinder walls, and then I got to clean out the valley, but I'm gonna do that real quick. All right guys, there's one side done. I gotta do this other side, but I might go again and do this, but you get the idea. Just get it super clean so that the mating surface is really nice and smooth, so that the gasket seals. So guys, I was looking at the new intake manifold. Be very careful with it here. And there's really no gasket right here on this side, but this side does. And if we go look at the car, this is where it would be. Now, there's like this little sliver in this, but there's also a gasket that goes around this. But it basically is metal on metal. So I'm like kind of debating if I should put some sealer on it or not. I don't really want to, and then I was in the same situation as I tried to do this one, because it had a gasket. So I gotta figure out that. Okay guys, so missing this gasket, like I said. I looked on Summit and it's supposed to come with that gasket. So I called them, and now this is on postponed, so yay. Okay guys, so I'm waiting on Summit to send me the other piece of the gasket for the intake manifold. And what I'm gonna do is actually put the spark plugs in the marquis. Alright, so get your 5/8. It's got a little rubber boot in there so it doesn't damage the plug. But I'm gonna put little anti-seize on the threads because aluminum, and get your wrench. You put them in there, pretty much. You get the whole idea. What I like to do is get them hand thread first, hand tight. You can't really do that. And then I'll use my ratchet to give them a little snug. All right, got them all in on the driver's side, got them a little snug. Now, we're gonna cover this back up because I don't want any moisture or anything getting in there. Then we gotta do the passenger side. Alright, they're all done. As you can see, snugged them up. Now I'm gonna cover them back up so I don't want any crap getting in there. And I'm gonna throw my trash away, put the wrench away, and all that. Alright, so that's done. Spark plug's done. Now I'm just waiting on the intake manifold gasket. Alright guys, so we're back. They sent me the gaskets, but they sent me the thermostat side, not the passenger. So you see this little loopy loop? I'm just gonna cut it off, hopefully, and then weasel this one in here. I swear it better work. If it doesn't, I'm gonna cry. So that's what the plan is, and then hopefully I'm gonna put this on. So guys, I just cut it and then I fit it in place, and luckily, hopefully it should work. I hope it does. I'm gonna check this one and see if this one needs it. I don't think it does, but we can always check. So hopefully we're gonna go put this on right now, hopefully. Okay guys, so I'm gonna put these little plugs right here because the old one had it. So I'm gonna put those on real quick, put some Teflon tape on there, screw them in, and then we got new screws and stuff for the throttle body and the coil packs and a thermostat. Can't forget the thermostat. Well guys, I got the new one on, but I dropped a bolt and I'm trying to find that at the moment, and it's starting to rain again, so we will get postponed to this again. Alright, I had the throttle body on, but then I didn't unscrew it because I forgot I weaseled the fuel rail line under the throttle body to move it over here. So now I am rebolting this up and gonna put the fuel rails on, the coil packs, and yipper. Okay guys, I got the coil packs in and the fuel rail in. Now I might take a zip tie and wrap around this so that this stays on. You don't have to, but for safety, I don't know, we just do that. And all those are broken over there on that side, so I'm gonna probably put a zip tie on all these. Also guys, don't forget about your heater, or, well, I don't even know what you would call it. I guess it is one of the heater core hoses in the back here before you put the fuel rail on so that you can access this. Alright guys, I got this side on, fuel rail on, coil packs in, some of the tubes reconnected, wires. Still need to put this PVC tube right here to here, but sure, very close. Alright guys, got the rest of the throttle body on. Now I just gotta finish reconnecting everything. This one's a little tricky. Just gotta, oh, guess it's sat in. Oh, hold up, wait a minute. Just gonna take both my hands. There's one. And then, where's the other one? Right here. Take this one, slip it right in, slide this right there. And I guess I'll put the intake on before I go inside because it's getting really cold. But I'm not gonna start tonight. I'll start tomorrow because I gotta let this sealer dry. So I'd rather have it dry overnight than waiting just an hour and then it leaks. I put the PVC tube on. This one's a little funky, but put this 90-degree in. Maybe I got it backwards. Maybe I'm tweaking. I think I'm tweaking. No, I think I'm tweaking. And you just, come on. There. Pretty sure that's right. Yeah, looks right. So, we got that. Put the intake on. That's my stopping point for tonight. And then I'll finish everything up in tomorrow morning. Alright, fellers, it's the next morning. Got the alternator on. I snugged these bolts, but I haven't really tightened them all the way, so I put the bracket on. This is the original bracket, came with it. this one didn't really work because they wanted spacers and all that. It just didn't work. So I just put the original one on. And now I'm gonna tighten these bolts up and then tighten these up and put the belt on and then connect the cable. And then hopefully it all works. One tip, guys, go back and make sure you retighten your intake manifold bolts. I forgot. I just checked this one just for fun, and I thought it was tight. It was a little loose, so I'm gonna go back real quick and try to retighten all the intake manifold bolts. And then these were the spacers that were supposed to go on the new alternator bracket, but I had to replace a bolt back here, and I had to put washers on it, and I was afraid it was bottom out because it had a little sleeve on it. So I'm gonna take that bolt out and put one of these spacers on there, so it's got a little bit more thread or whatever. Okay, guys, got the intake on. I just gotta tighten them up, and then I'm gonna plug this in, and then tighten this up real quick, and it should be done. Alright, guys, I gotta reconnect the fuel pump thing. Now, should be able to start. Okay, so I had it start, it was a little rough because coolant was still in the exhaust. I disconnected the battery because it was throwing a check engine light, so hopefully it resets everything. Now I'm just going over and making sure everything's alright, not leaking. But yeah, seems like it's doing pretty well right now. But I will do another startup and then drive it around, and hopefully it should be good. Alright, so still blowing out coolant from the exhaust. I'm just going to let it run. I'm going to let the overflow or the coolant reservoir get low, and then I'll fill it up with more coolant. Then I'll go drive it around. And we got a leak, I just noticed. Wow. Alright guys, I put some gasket sealer on the base of this, as you can see, and the spacer and the thermostat, so I gotta let that dry. And she should be done, hopefully. So guys, reconnected the alternator cable, and it's pretty much done. So I will be posting more videos. I just gotta find the content to make. So yeah, this is the start of more videos.